Hello everyone, Nick back here with a clean garage. I'm using my phone right now to record everything, but anyway, I got a new project. This is a 1966 Plymouth Fury VIP 2-door hardtop with a big block 383 2-barrel. And we technically, I'm not sure if I could call this a barn find, but I found it. It was sitting under a carport for years, probably for about maybe 17 years or so. That's what we're thinking. This thing probably ran in maybe 2000. Here's the interior. It's all bench seats, and yeah, it's got all the cool things here. And the mileage on here is, if I can get this stupid frickin' camera to focus. But anyway, if you can't see that, that's 96,103. I'm not sure if that's rolled over before, but it might be about to roll over. But this car is extremely dirty. We just got cleaning a shitload of hay out of the engine bay, and it's all nice and clean now. We're investigating the spark plugs. We haven't got a chance to turn over the engine, so we're removing all the spark plugs to do so. The first two spark plugs I removed, one was in really bad shape and the other one was like brand new, so there's something weird going on here. It looks like somebody attempted to start this up in the past. This coil was just sitting on top of the intake manifold, just chilling. It looks like it had a spark plug wire running from it or something. And all the other wires are a mess. Most of them are chewed up because there was a rat's nest. I think rats had gotten in this car, so who knows what wires are chewed and what wires are not chewed. There's a shitload of rat shit though. The headliner in here is completely gone. You can see that. It's kind of what's left. The trunk, I just got cleaning that yesterday night, and there's a bunch of interesting stuff in the trunk here. We had like 3 different spare tires. I'm thinking this is the original, but I mean all these tires are junk. One tire is basically exploded, the other one's bald, and this one has a bad valve seal or whatever, so it just leaks. It's no good. I only found one other hubcap. There's also a rim in here that looks to be off of a late 90s, early 2000s. I mean Chevy, maybe S10 or something. And there's some rope, a gas tank, also an oil drain pan, and just some other junk here, some mount for something, I don't know. So far, 3 of the 4 tires aired up successfully, but this one driver's side tire here didn't inflate. It's got a hole in it, but I'm going to be getting all new tires, maybe even new rims, to kind of make this thing look good. This thing pretty much needs a complete restoration, so I've kind of canceled out the fact of just flipping it, because I mean the interior is just completely uncomfortable to use because it's just all gone. Carpet, all the floor pans in here are solid. I checked all those. I know it's dark, I can't really show you. The passenger side front floor pan is a little bit weak, but it doesn't have holes through it. But I mean, it's like it's got a lot of surface rust on it, and it's kind of risky. Another thing to point out, and this is the most crucial part about this car, is that there's a few times where this car had gotten in an accident. The major accident it had gotten in was this driver's side rear end here. You can see there's a lot of dents and stuff going on here. Somebody tried to Bondo this and that failed, and you can see it's all, Bondo's all broken off. And then around here, shitty freaking fan is in the way. You can see it's kind of really bent around here. And also the bumper, the rear bumper did not come with the car. And it was probably, my assumption is that it's probably thrown out. It was just that badly messed up. And I guess I can't show you in there because it's too dark. And then over here is the second area where this car had gotten in a wreck, and it was this passenger side front fender right here. You can see there's a lot of Bondo, and the door doesn't completely open. You can see it, that's as far as it can go. Also, another thing is these door jambs, they're not lining up. So that's an obvious sign that this thing had been in some kind of weird accident that threw it off. And not exactly sure at the moment what we're gonna do about that. Also, the gas tank is dented in right under there. You can see it's all punched in, and it's just junk. Not sure if there's any gas in it, but whatever gas is in it needs to be drained. Also, this door jamb, this is probably the worst door jamb here. This has got the biggest gap, and it's all just dented up, and it won't completely shut. I mean, it locks into place, but it won't completely shut. And along here is, probably can't see that, but I can feel it. But there's some buckling there on this side of the roof. The other side is like completely flat. Not sure about this bend right here. I think that might be stock, I don't know. The interesting, probably the most interesting part about, I got an interruption, but back to what I was saying about the interesting thing about this car is basically that the ignition cylinder for the key right here is completely gone. It was removed. You could probably barely see that, but that's where you put your key, and there's no ignition cylinder there. And then around back here, the trunk is also missing its lock or whatever, but we're able to open it just because this thing already had like a screw system in there or whatever to pop it, so that was real easy. And of course the gas cap is right here. Another thing is there is a little bit of rot, and it's only right here. There was a vinyl top over this roof, and there was also a little trim piece right here, and that would say VIP. If you go over here, this is what remains. There's this trim piece here, and then there's the VIP badge. Now, VIP Fury Plymouths weren't, I believe they're pretty rare. I'm not sure on the numbers of how many were made, but I mean, very important Plymouth. That's basically what it means. And it's an important Plymouth. I mean, it was kind of like a luxury Fury, you know, like the top of the line Fury you can get. One last interesting fact about this vehicle is that it actually originally came with a single reservoir master brake cylinder, and somebody tried to either upgrade it or, I don't know, switch it out because their single reservoir broke. But they put in a dual reservoir, and that actually is not how you correctly switch a car over to having a dual reservoir instead of a single reservoir. So that really didn't do anything. But they actually left behind the original single reservoir, master brake cylinder, and it's got a lot of rat shit on it and it needs to be cleaned. But other than that, that's pretty much it about this car. The radiator has to be replaced because there's a little bit of a crack there, if you can see right there. And we're gonna get to turning this over soon, maybe in this video, maybe in another video. Alright, so we got the spark plugs and the radiator removed. Radiator had some rust in it, but not much. It was mostly clean. Here's all the spark plugs I removed. There was only 2 that were used that were still in there, and the rest of these are like new. Like somebody attempted to try to start this thing, but it didn't work out. Then tried cranking it over, but we didn't have the right socket and it didn't free up right away. So we gotta run to the store and get a new socket.
You ready?
Alright, so we're back from the parts store and we got ourselves a new socket, which is a 1/4 inch socket. For those who have a 383, you might want to think about that.
1/4.
And we also got some Marvel Mystery Oil to put down the spark plugs. Okay, see if this. So what we're planning on doing is first testing out our socket, and if that doesn't work, then start putting Marvel Mystery Oil down all the individual spark plug holes.
There we go. Let's see what this does. Oh, it's gonna slip. It's not turning.
He's busting his ass right now. I'm gonna have to put some. Just put some oil down the spark plug holes. Alright, so we had to remove the fan because we were thinking about putting an impact on the engine, but it's actually breaking free now with the breaker bar.
There we go.
That was weird.
It's just,
I guess it was that stupid fan in the way.
I couldn't with the extension. It kept slipping, and yeah, the fan was in the way. So move the fan, turn the engine.
So this thing might run.
I should get all these belts and pulleys all messed up. Yeah, rust, probably a little rust in those pulleys. There was a bee's nest in there.
So far it's cleared up. At first it was very rough when we got it to break free, but then it started clearing out, and now it just makes this weird rubbing noise or whatever. It seems to moan. It doesn't like it. Let's see it.
What? Good. Well, I don't know why it's not doing anything.
Now we're attempting to try turning this.
There's no tooth.
Testing for ignition.
No spark there. You can see some
No spark there.
sparks there.
Oh, a little bit.
You see a little? I don't see anything.
No.
Alright, here goes full blast. Nothing. Starter ain't working.